Hi everyone. I've got a problem. Well, I've got lots of problems, but this problem I want to talk to you about today. I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to calculate the number of bikes I need, I've traditionally used the N+1 formula, where N is the current number of bikes you own. And that's meant that I've got a lot of bikes and a very small garage. So storage is quite a big issue for me. You can see I hang them on the wall. I also use, in fact, I just got this recently from Pedal Gear. It's a new bike stand with 3 functions. So I'm going to show you that. But these stands, I've got a few of them without the extra bits, but they are really, really useful. When you're, I have a couple of bikes standing in the garage. They're the bikes I tend to use a lot. When you're washing the bike with your motor muck and you put it in the stand, you can spray it on and hose it off, and the bike, you don't have to lean it against anything or tip it. Generally you don't want to try and wash an e-bike upside down. That's a bad idea. So they're really useful. So I'll talk about the functions more. Yes, I've got bikes hanging on the wall. Yes, you can get proprietary things, and I've looked at that. But if I can build something myself for little to no money, that's always my preference. But a third of my garage is taken up with bikes. My wife has one small little car. This is technically a double garage, technically, but we can only just squeeze in one car down the middle. And I'm sure you guys have got pretty similar stories to tell. Now, you may say, do I really need all these bikes? Well, first I'd like to point out that 4 of them are actually my wife's, and she's really hard if I try to get her to part with any bikes. I have sold or given away quite a few over the years. Sometimes I try and, if my friends' kids want to get into riding, if I've got a bike spare, I'll give them that. In fact, I saw one of them out at Woodhill recently, and a young chap had one of my old 26-inch Acerbis bike, and it was really, really cool to see that back out of there again. So I like the idea that you just keep paying it forward, and that these bikes, some of them might go to someone one day. Although at the moment I'm not selling any of these all serve a purpose. So don't say, can I have the one on the back? It's not happening. So anyway, storage. Let's talk a little bit more about this thing. This thing has 3 functions. So why don't I quickly run you through those 3 functions. Okay, so function 1, pretty straightforward. Back wheel goes in the bike stand, and the bike stands up. This is Steve-O's old Transition Sentinel. This one is never being sold, keeping this one forever, as I always promised him I would never sell it. So one day it'll hang up as an antique in a man cave somewhere, if I ever get a man cave, because it's got to be something bigger than this garage, that's for sure. These things are incredibly useful. I mentioned, obviously good for washing and putting your bike in your garage. I take it with me in the ute. So when I go on the caravan, and you've seen some of our caravan adventures, we can put the bikes in the marquee, we can charge them up, and they're not leaning against each other, leaning against the caravan, they're just standing in their stands. Same thing when I go down to my folks, take the stand with me, wheel it into the garage, stand it in the garage. I don't have to try and lean it on their wall and risk scraping down the side of the wall or it falling on one of their vehicles. So anyway, function number 2. All right, so function number 2, it effectively becomes a mini work stand. And I don't have a work stand, I must admit, mostly because I'm a terrible bike mechanic. Luckily with the KTMs, Electrify New Zealand helps me out big time with all the mechanical work, because I am a really terrible mechanic. I don't know why. I try, but I'm just not particularly good at it. Saying that, what this thing does, you can hang the rear triangle on the side of the stand, and if you want to just check out your gears, make sure they're running smooth, adjust the cable tension on there or something, that's pretty easy to do. Likewise, you can put lube on the chain, and especially with e-bikes, this is where I'm going to find this really useful. E-bikes, when you back pedal, the chain doesn't go backwards, and so this will mean I can just hook the e-bike on there, spin the chain forward, put a little bit of lube on. Too easy. So I don't have a work stand. It's not a substitute for a proper work stand, but it's a little mobile thing, something to just play with your gears and your chain. It's pretty clever, really. So you can adjust it to fit different bikes. These 2 points here can go up and down. You can, because not every rear triangle is exactly the same. So if you wanted to get like this one, because it's pretty damn sturdy in there. So yeah, you can adjust it. Anyway, but wait, there is more. There's one more feature. Okay, now I know on the internet it's widely accepted that I am a bit crazy, but bear with me, this is not crazy. It looks a little bit crazy, I must admit, but you can actually hang the bike up, or stand the bike up vertically, and it's got a hook there, and you'd think it would fall over, but it's actually remarkably Look at that, don't want to fall over. And even with the e-bike in there, it's pretty much the same. So why would you want to do this? Well, again, if you've got the N+1 problem and you're getting more and more bikes, standing them up vertically takes up a lot less floor space. And if you're in an apartment and likewise you've got little floor space, and especially if you're renting and you don't want to put a big giant hook on the wall and hang your bike on the wall. And trust me, when you do hang bikes on the wall, they end up marking and damaging the wall where the tyres hit the wall and things like that. So just being able to stand it up in a corner takes less space. You could just about sit that in your bedroom, couldn't you? So probably not for everyone, but for some people, that little feature is going to be quite clever. Anyway, hope you like my little video. If you do want one of these, they've got them at pedalgear.nz. I'll leave a link in the description. There's also a discount code. Yes, I've got a discount called Lance15. It's probably there somewhere. But wait, there's more. I keep doing that, don't I? You can get 15% off everything at Pedal Gear. So some Michelin tyres, some motor mucks, some Oakley glasses. They've got other things on there as well. So gloves, things like shoes, all sorts of interesting stuff. So check it out, 15% off. What's not to like? Anyway, just a short video for you. It's kind of been horrible weather lately, so I thought I'd hang out in the garage and play with my bikes for a bit. But we'll see you on the next one.